Last night I gave the quail some cucumbers for the first time, just as kind of an experiment to see if they'd like them. So let's go check it out and see what they did with them overnight. Well, it looks like they ate all the seeds out of them, so that's good. So I'd say they liked them. So that's good news. So now I think since it looks like they're really not interested in the rest of the cucumbers, what I can do is put a cucumber in there, let them eat all the seeds, then take the leftover part down to the pigs and let the pigs eat the rest of it. So hey, get it all used up.
Over the past 2 days, I've spent a lot of time canning tomatoes, and all the scraps go to the pigs. So I have some of that to take out to them this morning, along with, yes, more cucumbers, and we actually have a Hubbard squash that wasn't looking so good, so we're gonna take that out to them. I think they'll really like that.
Oh yeah.
Morning.
They actually seem irritated now when all I come with is their grain, because they actually prefer all the veggies from the garden.
And while they're still eating the cucumbers, they like some variety in their diet, so they get really excited when there's something other than cucumbers.
Well, this is when they get excited. Come on, over here. You're not excited for this, are you? Ooh, can you smell it? Let me see if I can get that in your bin. Woo. Move over. Oh, yeah. Ooh, they like the tomatoes. I knew they would. Ooh, and there's that squash. Oh, yeah, that's new. They've never had that before. They like it. I think they're looking up to say thank you.
You guys have no table manners.
They eat like they never eat. We feed them these scraps like at least 2 times a day, sometimes 3 times a day.
Just recently, we've been receiving a lot of questions about the tomato varieties that we've been growing. So we decided to sit down, pick one example of each variety we're growing, and talk about which ones we love and which ones we'll never grow again. I'm going to start with the slicing tomatoes, just standard eating slicing tomatoes that I actually use also for diced tomatoes and canning. We have Celebrity and Jetstar, which are both a hybrid variety. They are both grow really well. We've been pleased with how they did this year. Our favorite overall is the Jetstar, and we will always grow the Jetstars. The Celebrities, while this one is bigger, they both are generally the size of this Jetstar. The Celebrities seem to succumb more to the blight this year, and so we may look for a different variety to replace the Celebrity next year.
Yeah, the Jetstar is definitely my favorite for just eating, like on a sandwich, or even just cutting up and eating with salt on it or whatever. These, I mean, they're just a great taste, and they produce super early, and you know, they're just a great all-around tomato.
For the paste tomatoes, or the Roma type tomatoes, we grew 2 types. This is the Opulka, and this is the San Marzano. And while they both did really well, I favor the Opulkas. They're a much bigger tomato, they're solid and meaty all the way through, they burst really well when I'm trying to skin them, and overall I think they just did better. I'm going to look for a different paste tomato other than the San Marzanos for next year.
So for cherry tomatoes this year we grew 5 different varieties, and there's at least 2 of them that I don't think we'll probably do again. The first one is the black Vernissage. This is an heirloom from Baker Creek. We actually got these as a free sample of seeds last year and grew them and really liked them, so we grew them again this year. They're just a good, I mean, they're a good size cherry tomato, and my opinion on them is you have to pick them a little on the early side. If you pick them once they get really ripe, they're really kind of mushy, and then personally, I don't like them that way, so pick them early, but a good tasting tomato. The second one is a lot like that. It's the green Vernissage. They taste almost identical, but this is one of them that I'm saying will probably never grow again. We actually got these seeds for free as well, so we thought, why not try them?
From Baker Creek.
From Baker Creek. But to be honest, it's just too hard to tell when they're ripe. I don't have time to stand out there and, like, you know, squeeze each tomato out on the vine to see if it's ripe. And they really don't change color much at all. So to me, it's just not worth it when you can grow this one and, you know, have an easier time. The next one is the egg yolk. These also are very good if you pick them early, but they seem like they get really ripe really fast. And by the time you realize that they're ripe, they're almost too ripe. So I really don't think we'll probably grow these again unless we get to the point where we're selling tomatoes at the farmer's market. Then I might grow some of these just so we can have a good mix of colors, you know, and sell them in a little basket. But for just us, I wouldn't grow these again. They're really small and they get ripe too fast. The next one is the chocolate cherry. These actually have been my favorite this year. This is the plant that I tend to waste the most time by because I just stand there and eat them all day. So these are just an excellent tomato. They're easy to tell when they're ripe. They don't seem to get overripe too fast, and they're just a good, sweet, not super acidic cherry tomato.
They're very prolific, and those are also Samantha's favorite.
Yeah. And they seem to be resistant to some of the blight problems that we've been having. Those plants are doing really well. And then the last one is the Riesentraub. These are also really prolific, but they're taking a long time to start to ripen.
They're super late this year.
Yeah, there's like 1 million of them on the plants, and they're just, like, most of our tomatoes are on their way out already, and these are just starting to ripen. So I'm actually going to count that as a positive because it extends the season a little more. So while the other ones are on their way to be done, these are just starting. So I really like the taste of these, and there's 1 million of them on the plant. So I'm going to say that these are probably one that we'll do again because I like that they're later in the season.
The plants are also appearing to be resistant to the blight as well. And the flavor, according to Samantha, is a lot more acidic and less sweet, which, I mean, depending on your preference, can be a good thing or a bad thing.
Right.
I think that Kevin and Samantha are kind of getting worn out on the sweet cherry tomatoes, and maybe late in the season now they're ready for a change, and so they'll eat the Riesentraub.
Right. But just to clarify, I'll eat any tomato, anytime, because I love them.
This year we bought our tomato seeds from 2 different companies. The first is called Totally Tomato. We bought our hybrid tomato seeds there, the Roma type tomatoes, and we actually got the egg yolk seeds for free. The second company that we got them from was Baker Creek. So any of the heirloom tomatoes, and we really try any of the heirloom varieties of plants that we grow on the homestead to come from Baker Creek. They're local to us. It's about 40 minutes away for us to just go up there to their store, and we enjoy the quality of their seeds. So that's where we get our tomato seeds from.
So those are the 6 varieties of tomatoes that we're growing this year.
I haven't shown you guys how I'm recording all of the food that we're putting up this year. Last year I used a notebook, and notebooks aren't good for me. I leave them out in the rain, and then I can't find them, and so it just hasn't been a good system for me. So this year I thought, hey, I'm going to use a poster board, and I'm going to record everything on one poster board. I'm going to leave it out in an area that I can always see and find. And so this year I'm recording all of our canning, all of our freezing, and all of the dehydrating that we're doing. So I just have an idea of how much we've done. Then at the end of the year, when we have some things left over, I'll know how much was too much, what we didn't can enough, when we ran out. I can write that down somewhere else. But this is going to be a good system for us. I had Grace decorate it for me, our oldest daughter, and I think it's going to work out really well. So this is an idea for you all to start tracking how much you're putting up for your family from your garden and from your homestead.
So we hope that helps answer some of the questions we've been getting recently about what varieties we're growing. It's not just as easy as answering what are you growing, because we can't recommend some of these varieties. So we hope that this helps you to better understand why some of these varieties just aren't going to be on our homestead anymore.
We do plan to replace some of those that didn't work for us next year, so we'd like your recommendation of one slicer, paste tomato, and cherry tomato that works best for you.
Yeah, let us know what your favorite one is, and then we can research them over winter and hopefully have, you know, some good recommendations to go off of for next year.
We look forward to hearing your suggestions. Before you go, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, the notification bell, and share this video with your family and friends. Until next time, thanks so much for stopping by the homestead. Take care, and God bless.
God bless.